Hey everyone! Welcome to Update X24H, your go-to channel for the latest news, hottest dramas, breaking stories, and all the buzz from the world of entertainment. We're here to keep you updated, entertained, and always in the loop. Hit that subscribe button and join our growing family. Because here at Update X24H, we bring you the news that matters, the drama you love, and the stories you can't miss. Thanks for being part of our community. Let's stay connected, stay updated, and keep the good vibes rolling.
Imagine trusting your heart, your money, and your reputation to a cause you believe in, only to discover it was all a lie. Yesterday, China's entertainment world was shaken when Xiao Lucy, a rising star admired for her kindness, was dragged into a shocking fake charity scandal. And right at the center of it all, her close friend, actor Liu Yunning, broke down in disbelief, telling millions of fans, "I cannot believe this is real." Welcome to Update X24H, where today's story will take you through betrayal, heartbreak, and the hope that truth will finally prevail. When the story first broke, it did not arrive as a whisper, but as an earthquake that shook the foundations of trust in both celebrity culture and charitable work. Reports began circulating that the Greenfields Foundation, an organization Zhao Lusi had championed with visible pride and compassion, was not what it seemed. For nearly 2 years, she had lent her name, her image, and even her presence to this cause, presenting it as a lifeline for struggling farmers scattered across rural China. The public had watched her stand in fields with elderly villagers, her eyes glistening with tears as she listened to their hardships, promising a brighter tomorrow. Those moments had been broadcast as symbols of hope, reminders that fame could be harnessed for good. Yet in a single day, those same images were recast in a cruel light, no longer symbols of kindness but evidence of a deception that had gone far beyond imagination. Investigators revealed that instead of distributing agricultural equipment, seeds, or financial aid, the foundation had perfected an intricate system of fraud. Donations from well-meaning citizens, inspired in part by Zhao's advocacy, were funneled through a labyrinth of shell companies, hidden accounts, and offshore holdings. The figure was staggering: more than 200 million yuan, nearly $28 million, vanished into shadows where accountability could not reach. But what truly cut deep was not just the financial scale. It was the realization that a young actress who had stood for integrity, who had believed she was making a tangible difference, had unknowingly become the face of one of the most calculated deceptions in recent memory. For fans, the betrayal was twofold. They were betrayed by an organization that had preyed upon their generosity, and by the shattering of the trust they had placed in their beloved star's judgment. For Zhao Lucy herself, the betrayal was more personal, almost unbearable. Every tear shed on camera, every embrace with farmers who looked to her with gratitude, was now weaponized against her as proof of complicity. The scandal did not just question her involvement. It threatened to unravel the very bond she had built with millions who believed in her sincerity. What unfolded in those first hours was not simply a news story. It was the collapse of an image carefully built on empathy, replaced with the haunting suspicion that nothing, no smile, no promise, no act of kindness, had been safe from exploitation. In the wake of the scandal, Zhao Lucy did what few in her position would dare. She stepped into the storm rather than retreat from it. Just hours after the revelations about the Greenfields Foundation began flooding the media, she appeared live before millions of viewers, her face pale, her voice trembling, but her determination unmistakable. For nearly 3 hours, she spoke not as an untouchable celebrity, but as a human being, raw and vulnerable, caught between disbelief and the crushing weight of responsibility. Switching between Chinese and English to reach her vast international audience, she made it clear from the very beginning that she, too, felt betrayed. She described how the representatives of the foundation had approached her in the early days of her rising career, armed with polished presentations, audited reports, and convincing stories of hope. They had shown her photographs of farmers whose lives they claimed to have transformed, letters of gratitude that seemed heartfelt, and financial documents that appeared legitimate. To her, it was more than an opportunity, it was a calling, a way to use her platform for something that reached beyond the screen. As she spoke, the pain of hindsight was written across her expression. She admitted, with tears slipping down her cheeks, that she had not only lent her influence but had also invested her own fortune, more than 5 million yuan, into what she believed was a genuine mission of change. Her intention had been to lead by example, to inspire her fans by showing that generosity should begin with herself. Now she confessed that very sacrifice had been twisted, her money potentially used to fabricate success stories designed to lure more unsuspecting donors. The weight of that realization was devastating, not just for her, but for every person who had trusted her judgment. Yet within the despair, there was also a quiet defiance. Zhao did not come before her audience to beg for pity, but to reclaim her voice from the chaos. She acknowledged the hurt, the confusion, the anger swirling around her, and promised to confront it openly. She vowed to investigate where the money had gone, to hold those responsible accountable, and to prove that her faith in humanity, however shaken, was not extinguished. In those fragile hours, she revealed a different kind of strength, the courage to stand exposed in front of millions, admitting her mistakes, yet refusing to let betrayal define who she was. If Xiao Lucy's livestream was a desperate attempt to reclaim her truth, then Liu Yunning's response was the echo of a friend who simply could not reconcile the headlines with the person he knew. Only 2 hours after Zhao ended her broadcast, Liu appeared on his own livestream, and what unfolded in front of millions was not the polished composure of an actor, but the unraveling of a man torn between loyalty and disbelief. His face, usually calm and self-assured, was drawn with visible strain. His hair tousled from running his hands through it again and again. He admitted to viewers that the news felt unreal, that every fiber of his being wanted to reject it. "This doesn't match the Lucy I know," he repeated, almost as if clinging to those words might make them true. The vulnerability in his voice was unmistakable, half choked with emotion, half laden with a helpless frustration at not being able to change the situation. In that moment, the boundary between celebrity and ordinary human being seemed to collapse. Fans who tuned in expecting clarity or explanation were met instead with raw honesty. Liu was just as confused, just as wounded as they were. He spoke of his friendship with Zhao, recalling shared projects, public events, and countless private conversations where her sincerity had shone through. His eyes shifted constantly, searching for some invisible anchor, as though replaying every memory might offer proof that this scandal was some dreadful mistake. Then came the revelation that stunned his audience even further. 6 months earlier, Zhao had urged him to consider supporting the Greenfields Foundation, speaking of it with such conviction that he had agreed to schedule a meeting. The thought that he could have been swept into the same web, his name and image tied to a fraud of unimaginable scale, seemed to shake him to his core. "If timing had been different, I might have been part of this too," he confessed, his voice breaking on the words. That admission transformed his reaction from one of simple sympathy into one of personal horror. He had been one step away from sharing her fate. For millions watching, Liu's turmoil did something no headline could achieve. It made the scandal painfully real. It was not just Zhao's reputation on trial. It was the fragility of trust itself, the reminder that even those closest to us can be blindsided by betrayal. His disbelief was not a performance. It was a mirror reflecting the collective shock of a public struggling to accept that such a deception could happen in plain sight. What makes this scandal more than celebrity gossip is its wider impact. Farmers who were promised life-changing support were instead used as props, asked to smile for cameras, sign thank you letters, and wait for aid that never came. Fans across China and overseas are questioning the responsibility of celebrities. Should stars be more careful when endorsing charities? Or are they too victims of a system designed to exploit their fame? Meanwhile, Zhao Lucy has reportedly hired forensic accountants and legal experts to trace where the money truly went. Insiders say she is determined not just to clear her name, but to bring the fraudsters to justice. Here's something that hasn't been widely discussed. This scandal has ignited conversations about the pressure young stars face. In the entertainment industry, celebrities are often told that charity work is expected to maintain a positive public image. But this culture of pressure creates dangerous blind spots. Experts argue that this could be a turning point, encouraging new regulations where charities endorsed by celebrities must pass stricter government audits. And on a human level, it has reminded millions that stars are not invincible. They too can be misled, manipulated, and left to face the consequences. So what are we left with? A beloved actress fighting to prove her innocence, a loyal friend struggling with disbelief, and an audience millions strong, wrestling with anger, compassion, and hope that justice will be served. Perhaps the biggest lesson is this: fame may bring influence, but it does not protect anyone from betrayal. And in moments of crisis, what matters most is not the scandal itself, but how courageously one chooses to face it. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this story. If you found today's update meaningful, please subscribe to Update X24H, give this video a like, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your support means the world, and together we'll continue uncovering the stories that matter. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired.